Hey, friend.
What's up, friend? Dude,
Yeah.
awesome conversation today about friendship in the Storehouse Mastermind. Hey, there's a couple questions that we asked. They're deep probing questions. The conversations are always incredible. But just two questions that I think folks should consider. One, do you have any friends? I think that's a really good, but like, what is a friend, right? Like,
Yeah.
what is a friend
What's the
truly?
definition of a friend?
What's the definition of a friend? Have you been intentional about defining what a friend is and where your time is going and who your friends are? And I'll give you something that really hits home for me. John 15:13 says, greater love has no one than this. Excuse me. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for one's friends. When you look at that standard, right? Like this verse could have highlighted anything. There's no love like laying down your life for your wife or your brother or your parents. That's not what it says. It says for your friends. And I always found that very interesting. And again, regardless of what it is that, your specific faith, your beliefs, the idea of loving somebody so much that you're willing to give your life for them is pretty powerful. And the fact that you can have that relationship with friends, I think is a super powerful place to come from.
Yeah. There was a really good question in our conversation today. I thought it was really interesting. The question was, um, does your dad or your father or your father-in-law think about the friends that they have? And do they have anyone that they would, call like a best friend? Uh, my answer is no. Like I wouldn't say that my dad has anyone that he hangs out with on a regular basis, talks to on a regular basis anymore that he calls his best friend. And it's an interesting conversation because I think as we get older, our friends start to lessen and lessen over time. And I got nerdy and looked up this journal, this scientific journal about this study about friendship, and it says that to be a to basically call a best friend, you have to spend at least 737 hours with. To call a good friend, 223 hours with. So if you think about it, how many of the people, your relationships that you have, are you spending that much time with? And as over time you get older, your focus goes towards your family, your focus goes towards your job, your focus goes towards other things beyond just friendship. So it has to really, you have to be intentional about putting friendships as a priority in your life. And I would say most men stop doing that because other priorities come into play, like, your family and work. And that's not all bad, but at the same time, I think friendships are very important. I mean, it talks about it in the Bible, right?
Dude, I think we give up our friends to our detriment, or we
Yeah.
stop seeking deep friendships, meaningful friendships at our own detriment. And I think we see the results of that in loneliness, and we see the results of that in depression and a lot of other things. Not to oversimplify those issues, but I think if we had more friends, we would have less of those issues. To be quite honest, if we're very intentional with seeking out deep, meaningful relationships, and then I leave this with one question: what kind of friend are you?
Mm.
Are you a good friend? And I think it's also just critical and extremely important to think about what kind of friend you are, not just seeking, externally, oh, what can you give me? But what am I? Are people better because I am their friend? And I pray that the answer is yes for me. Um, and I pray that someday the answer is yes for you.
I mean, you're a pretty good friend.
Hey, thanks, man. You're a wonderful
This
friend.
this book, Rules for a Night, talks about friendship, and it says the quality of your life to a large extent will be decided by with whom you elect to spend your time.
Mm,
It's pretty powerful, man. So
real
the challenge
powerful.
is, hey, become a better friend, one, and seek more friends, two. For us middle-aged men type, that can be a challenge, but I think it's an important one to consider.
If you want to be friends, put the little heart emoji on this post. Little
Heartsies,
heart. Tell me you want to
likesies,
be friends.
be my friend.
I am your friend. I love you.
Okay, love you too. Bye.